In this lesson, we're going to go over some lines for secundal harmony. If you guys haven't checked out my previous video where I talk about the voicings for this over So What, click above, I'll put the link there. So I got some questions after talking about the voicings about, well, how do I create some lines off of this based on what I was doing in that video and some of the soloing elements I was using. So this video is dedicated to building lines off of those voicings. And so I'll show you how to do that. We'll talk about it in a more conceptual way, and then we'll get into some actual specific lines over the whole guitar. There will be a PDF for this. You guys can stick around to the end of the video. I'll put that link in this video. So you definitely want to check it out. It's about a 10-page PDF, and it goes over these lines for So What, so in D minor and in E flat minor, so you can shed this to So What. All right, so let's get into it. Our first line is going to be based off of this first string set. And so I have my iPad here with some of the lines to remind myself. Our first string set is going to be an ascending line. So we're going to take this first voicing, and we're going to build a line off of that. And so this one's on an upbeat, and so we'll have 1. And that's based around this voicing. And then we'll combine that with the next voicing in the set. So we're just moving it up and then holding on that. The picking here is important. So sometimes, depending on how fast it is, you might want to pick it differently. But for this, I'm doing a up pick and then a hammer on and then down, down. You could also do it as individual picks. And you can also play the voicing there at the end. So we have that line, moving that up. You have all those voicings. You can, of course, string them together in any combination. It doesn't just have to be 2. So that is our first string set ascending combination. Let's do it descending. So I like to do a lot of these lines, making sure I'm working them ascending, descending, and usually some combination of the two. So if we're working up as an ascending line, we should also think about how can we use this in a descending way. So the one I put together here is, so again, it starts on an upbeat, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Right? And from there you can, any of these combinations work. I'm just going through some that I found helpful. And it also helps me just get a better visualization of these voicings by working lines through them, because I can see this group of notes, for example, not just as that voicing, but also as a line built in there. Right? All right, so that's the second one, our first string set combination, descending. Let's work on an ascending and descending one. All right, so this is, and now for this one, what you might notice is on that last part of the voicing, the last 3 notes, I'm not playing it in the same way as the voicing. Right, so if I'm not playing those last 3 notes in the same shape as that voicing. The first one is, but then the next one is up on that first string and then skip a string to the 3rd string. Down, up, or down, pull off. And that ends up being an easier way of playing that, those notes instead of sliding like that. If you are sliding, then it can work. But if you don't want to slide, I find this other string skip one better. So I think of this as a line for this voicing, even though it goes into the next voicing type. And then you move that around. So instead of going here, which you could do, I tend to do that. technically have that one too. So for this, we'll do descending and then ascending. So starting here, we have descending. That one I do find helpful to do both voicing shapes. Again, you can change the rhythm on any of these. It doesn't have to be exactly how I'm playing the rhythm. It could be, you can mess around with the rhythm any which way you want. And I'd encourage you to start on downbeats and then also the upbeats and see which version you prefer for each of these lines. All right, so that is first string set combination descending and ascending. And then you could also start to throw in chromaticism here. So instead of just, you could go. So I'm adding in between that. So that works for any of these voicings that have a whole step at the bottom, like from A to G or G to F. When we only have a half step, like F to E, we're going to do an enclosure instead. So let's look at that example. Right here. So we're going to enclose that E, right? So there's a couple ones we have here. Right. And I also tend to slide that last one. So that is our first string set combination, descending and ascending with chromaticism. If you guys are still tuning in, make sure you like and comment. It really does help with the algorithm. Definitely share any of these videos that you guys are into and comment below any feedback or topics you'd like me to cover. All right, so let's get into some of these longer lines. So once you've worked through that, we can do some combinations with different voicings on different string sets. So not just the first string set like we've been doing, but also combining it with some of the voicings on the second string set. And in the PDF, I have the voicings laid out for the first, second, and third string set that you guys can take a look at. Okay, so starting with our two voicing combinations, the first one we have is, and I do a pull off on this. And now I'm going to take that full line and then start to move it up. So that is the pattern here for how we're going through these lines to kind of develop them. You don't have to necessarily keep it exact as you're moving it up. You could change things around, but I find that is a really good way to just build that sound of the line into my playing. So let's look at the next one we have. And then we move up, we have. Keep going. For these ones, I find it helpful to hammer on that second note and then pick. It also has a little bit more of that modern articulation for this kind of voicing style. So you get a bit more of a modern jazz guitar sound instead of picking every single one. And then we have a few more, starting on this one. And just to be clear, this one is based on, say, this voicing and this one. So this one I switched it up a little bit from the way that the voicing is normally played, like a strict voicing for this, right? Normally we'd have this voicing from this. But I like this D, E, A voicing for that, so you can change it up from the strict secundal harmony, and then I go into this secundal one. So for our two voicing combination, we're going to look at that voicing in combination with this. So the E, G, F, which we'd play like this normally, or you might see it like that. Because that could be a little awkward, we're going to switch that G open to that fourth string. So we have. And notice the pull off, so. pull off, pip, pull off, and then down, down. Right? And then moving that voicing up. From that, we can then go to this. It tends to work itself up diagonally this way for the line, because you have to stretch for that one. Which I like, because most of these, a lot of times we don't see lines that descend in that way, going this diagonal. We usually go descending that way. So this can be interesting if you need to descend going this way. So we have a few more for that one. We have and you get the picture on that. So we also have this, again, for E flat minor. I've just been going through it for D minor, right? So you're gonna wanna check out some of these voicings. Again, if you haven't checked out the previous video, or if you need a refresher on that, I'll link that again above. So the PDF can be found at jazzmemes.org, so www.jazzmemes.org/secundal harmony lines, all right? So you can check that in the link below. And that's it for this video. So guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below. I look forward to sharing with you guys another video next week. All right, see you next time.